Friends, hello, welcome to the video talking about Rolls-Royce, and yes, you read it right, Rolls-Royce going to the moon. Let's clarify what they're talking about. You're not going crazy as you're sitting there reading this, but let's talk about what's going on right now. So, bullet points to get to the main meat of what's going on here. Rolls-Royce the past year, obviously this is a company that was devastated by the COVID sector. Layoffs, projects, pushback, all this kind of stuff. Right before COVID was going on, Rolls-Royce was talking about space travel, building a low orbit ship. I remember talking about this, and then when COVID happened, the project just got, it just got slaughtered and disappeared. Now the past year, Rolls-Royce has been back up and running and, doing what they do as their bread and butter, building, making planes, repairing planes, but also too, they're talking about making these power plants the size of football fields throughout Europe for countries that are wanting to buy them and for them to build them. And power plants in general have been the talk of the last few years, especially now that we've seen all this happen with NATO, Russia, power in general, from clean green to coal to whatever it need to be. Nuclear is always one of those things that comes up, should we not? But honestly, when you talk to the mainstream, the people that really know about it, there's really no good way to go of it, but nuclear is one of the clean elements compared to a lot of these other things. The only problem is it's nuclear. But now Rolls-Royce is, they're stepping into this role even more. And the main subject Rolls-Royce has released here is that Rolls-Royce has been working on a micro reactor program to develop technology that will provide power needed for humans to live and work on the moon. So, going off of that, if you know, you don't know, Elon Musk, this guy right here, is within a year's time, they are trying to send people to the moon to start building bases, from there going to Mars. But obviously we're talking about the moon right now. So a lot of companies in general are going to want to be a part of this, and I've talked about this before. This space race thing, if you really look it up and dig into it, it is huge. And a lot of companies are wanting to get their mitts in on it. Rolls-Royce is set to work with a range of organizations on the project, including Sheffield Advanced Manufacturing Research, Century and Nuclear AMRC, and the University of Oxford. So a lot going on here. I'll put more up here so you can read it, but it's trying to have a reactor ready for the moon by 2029. So, really, that's right around the corner. It was 2020 yesterday, so you really think about that. So, here's another thing I've always said, and I still stand by that. I've been preaching this for 2 years now, and I'm not trying to say that this is what I've been telling people, but I've been telling people because I've got a YouTube channel and I like to talk smack. But I've always said, I really believe Rolls-Royce is gonna be a huge underdog in the future. It is a golden nugget, and people that have patience and are able to buy a few shares here and there and really build up a portfolio for Rolls-Royce, this stock right here, you're not buying into the car sector. That's owned by BMW. This part is the aviation sector / all this nuclear power plant, nuclear power in general. This is what you're getting involved in when you put your money in it. So I really believe that Rolls-Royce is going to have a big future if it starts pulling off a lot of these things that it's wanting to do with nuclear power and these nuclear plants that it's planning on building. With that too, when we look at the stock here, it's been rebounding really well. Rolls-Royce the last 6 months has been steadily coming back up here, trying to get back to a $2 range. If it continues the way it is right now, maybe by December we could see it at $2.50 range. So it's really something I think a lot of us need to really consider and think about. It's boring, yes. It's slow moving, yes. It's not sexy, it's not fancy, it's just there. There's not a lot of wiggle room during the day, and it's just something that you put money into and you walk away from, and you come back in 6 months and go, oh, well, that's good, it's going up. So that's really the agenda with Rolls-Royce, friends. I've talked about them a lot, and I'm not going to go over everything else I've talked about with them, but listen, Rolls-Royce is not to be messed with. This is a company that's coming back together here, and I think we're going to be hearing a lot more about this moon nuclear reactor here in the near future, friends. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.